Now, obviously, you will appreciate if that happens, then naturally agriculture will get a boost and all other sectors will also start getting the boost. In case of roads also, public-private partnership model of Madhya Pradesh is widely appreciated by Planning Commission. It's available on their websites also. We are the only state in the country which has tapped the highest funds from Government of India in PPP. Because the entire work culture in the state has been now such that almost all major road constructors in the country and world have come to Madhya Pradesh to invest in roads. And every road is a toll road and people are willing to pay the toll. So there is no resistance to paying the toll and therefore there is a congenial atmosphere, and now state itself has started going ahead with building toll road without any external funding. All state highways and all major district roads are now covered like this, and every village in the state is being covered by state funds. You know, Government of India has a Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana where villages with a certain population are connected by an all-weather road by Government of India funds. But we have announced a Mukhyamantri Gram Sadak Yojana where every village which is left out by Government of India's standards, that is connected by state funds. So we have connected 100% villages by all-weather roads, and all major roads are good quality all-weather roads. It helps. We have Bhopal and Indore airport as international airports, but to allow other smaller state destinations to get connected, we have started, a private airline has been started where MP Tourism Corporation has done the hand-holding with this company. It's called Ventura Airline, and it's a non-scheduled operating airline which connects all major towns. State government has underwritten seats. So for every flight, 4 seats are owned by state government and the rest of the seats are sold in market, and we also refund the VAT on ATF. So again, this is the first model in the country where a private airline is connecting cities within the state to provide air connectivity. Then Madhya Pradesh again is a tourism state because we have 3 World Heritage Sites, Sanchi, Khajuraho and Bhimbetka, as you know. Then we have one of the largest dams in the country. So we have now started inviting private investment to use those dams as a recreational place. And of course, our tourism policy is quite good. So why invest in Madhya Pradesh for electronics hardware? We already had a couple of IT players in the state, and we recently convinced TCS, Infosys to open their campuses in Indore. Their campuses have already started the construction. And of course, there are a couple of other big IT companies who have started planning to come to Madhya Pradesh. It's a beginning we are making. We already have a humble presence of few companies who are doing exports. STPI has some data to share with us. But I must say that this is not the scale which Madhya Pradesh has potential for. So now we are saying that we are pitching in a big way. Earlier the model was to have IT parks and we wanted the private investors to come and develop the IT infrastructure. Now we realized over a period of time that during 2008's global recession, many of the big IT infrastructure players actually burned their finger. So they decided not to come. But now state government has decided that we will invest in the basic infrastructure in IT parks. So we will create roads, we will create water supply, we will create power substation, and we will provide you developed land, and you please put up your units. I'm happy to announce that already in IT parks that we are creating in Bhopal and Indore, people have deposited the money and they have taken the land, they have started their construction. So this is again a paradigm shift from where we wanted everything to be done by private sector. Perhaps in states like Madhya Pradesh, where investor confidence has to come over a period of time, state has to chip in its own money to create that, a confidence among investors that if government itself is ready to put money, then maybe they mean business. And of course, Madhya Pradesh now, of course, has a basic advantage of good telecom and internet connectivity. All major centers are very well connected, uninterrupted power. Land cost advantage, obviously, because this is the second largest state in the country and not very thickly populated. So we have a good chunk of government land which we can spare for industries. And of course, low operating costs because it is not an expensive state. And then very proactive IT policy, which I will not dwell upon because all state governments' IT policies are good. They give a lot of incentives in terms of taxes and duties. So I will not waste your time on that. Even skilled manpower, in last 5 years, number of seats for technical education institutions has been more than doubled in the state to cater to the coming future needs of trained skilled manpower. And good names, IIT, IIM, IIITM, they are all present in Madhya Pradesh, and of course the state level engineering colleges are also being upgraded to have center of excellence with top leading IT players in the country. This is typically a photograph of a skill gap training finishing school that Government of Madhya Pradesh has built and given it to run. And iPrime, which is a Bangalore based company for skill development, that has been given this building, and they are running a finishing school in Indore now to cater to the industry need. Well, we have IIT Indore, IITM Gwalior, Manit Bhopal, IIITM Jabalpur, and these are doing a lot of research projects which are very useful for R&D and for ESDM sector in the country. What would be the key concern of an industry if it wants to come to a state? First would be rising salaries. So I can assure you that Madhya Pradesh, being not a very expensive state, you can save upon your senior executives' salaries because you don't have to pay them as high as you have to pay them in other places. Then of course housing and rental costs, again you save a lot of money. Then there is a concern that if my employees are from the entire country, they have to go back to their hometowns. So what is the connectivity? Thankfully it's centrally located, very well connected by air and rail. Movement is not a problem. And then of course infrastructure, I have already explained to you quite in detail that a good amenable infrastructure in the state can always help IT companies to come and set up their shop. Now, when you have an industry which requires a lot of brain power, you would also expect good quality life with work-life balance, because otherwise it can't be an isolated center where you can only use the brain power and people don't provide quality life to people. Happily, in Madhya Pradesh, people don't know about these things. Therefore, I insist that people should come and see what has already been achieved in the state. And of course, we can get a lot of good weekend getaways. Now, recently, Madhya Pradesh State Electronic Development Corporation, of which I am also the MD, is very aggressively pitching for electronic manufacturing cluster. We were the first state to submit proposals for greenfield notification, and a lot of facilities that we are providing. Lands have been reserved in the 4 cities and more land is available. Typically, I wanted to explain that if you look at it, I don't know whether we have the cursor here. I don't know. But anyway, this is just to explain that the land that we are identifying is next to airport in all the 4 cities, in Indore, in Bhopal, in Gwalior, in Jabalpur. All the 4 cities, land is next to airport. And this is from the website of DITI. Only 3 projects for electronic manufacturing cluster greenfield have been given in principle approval, of which 2 are from Madhya Pradesh. So much for the aggressiveness with which we have pushed our case. And Mr. Narayana Murthy, when he came to Indore, because Infosys has been set up there, he said this is the future place where it can become an IT hub. So we look forward to Madhya Pradesh, all of you to come to Madhya Pradesh and start planning. I mean, on a parting note, before I just leave, I'll take 1 more minute. Sorry, I've already taken a lot of time. My feeling is that it's a good idea for the states to go and do selling like this, because you are the audience who can go around and spread the word. But perhaps there is a strong case that now agencies like IESA or other industry bodies should then take states along to various other countries and start pitching very strongly, because as you can see in this presentation and many other states' presentation, we have the raw material, we have the willingness, and we have everything. Then what is the missing link? I think we need to brand it, we need to market it aggressively and deliver. And what is normally the missing link is the political will. And thankfully now in the country, even the political leadership is fully aware of the role of this sector and the kind of contribution it can make to economy and create jobs. So I guess we all have to be collectively responsible for taking it forward and bringing it to a logical conclusion. Thank you very much.